Troy Brake is going to have to answer for what he's done to someone a whole lot bigger than me.
Emotions soaring outside of a Grand Haven courtroom after a jury hands down a guilty verdict against Troy Brake, the man accused of killing Charmaine Zimmer, her sons Jeremy and Tyler, and Catherine Brown. We brought you that verdict live.
And tonight, we are bringing you team coverage from the courthouse and the small community the Zimmers called home. We will go live in just a moment.
24-Hour News 8 just spoke with the Zimmer family, as well as the prosecuting attorney and the defense team.
Great verdict. We're all happy.
Bob, obviously you've been through a lot here.
Too much. Way too much.
Can you talk about the verdict? I mean, just glad justice is done.
I'm glad it's all over with, and I'm glad he got what he deserved.
Yep. That's all we have to say.
I mean, what more can I say?
Were you surprised that it took this long, 7 hours?
Well, when you consider the amount of material the jury had to look through, the number of victims involved, it was a little longer than I expected, but I did expect a lengthy deliberation, so that part didn't surprise me.
Well, obviously we're very disappointed. Mr. Brake is disappointed. Didn't feel as though the evidence was strong enough to support the conviction, much less the evidence that wasn't presented that probably should have been. But he fully intends to exercise his right to an appeal.
24-Hour News 8's Ken Kolker has been covering every minute of this trial. He joins us live now, right outside the courthouse in Grand Haven. Ken, good job on keeping everyone posted through Cover It Live over the web. We've been monitoring it, everything you've written and everyone else. Let me ask you your reaction when the jurors came back in. What was the courtroom like?
Well, it was a very hushed courtroom as the jury walked in. The suspense, I mean, it was unlike anything I'd seen in a courtroom. Very quiet, and then when the judge asked the question, what is your verdict, and the foreman said, you know, guilty, murder in the first degree, the family, the Zimmer and Brown families behind me, broke out in tears.
Were you surprised either with how long it took or how quickly that verdict came back?
Well, you know, a lot of the conventional thinking around here was that it was going to take maybe be done by noon. It seemed to a lot of people that it was rather cut and dried. So the longer it took, the better it was looking for the defense. So it was rather suspenseful for a little while. And then around 3:15, when the jury came out with a question, which was basically, what's the difference between first-degree murder and second-degree murder, it seemed rather obvious that not guilty was out of play. So we knew something was going to be happening, and in 15 minutes after they got their answer came the verdict.
I just got off the phone, Ken, with one of the jurors, and I asked him about that question of first degree, second degree. I asked him, how many times did you vote? He said, we voted. Then there was one person who did not agree with the first degree, so they posed the question to the judge, who differentiated for them between first and second degree. They went back in, voted again, and that one holdout then voted unanimously with the rest of them. But you were pretty sure, and everyone else, I'm certain, when they were down to first and second degree, that it was a conviction, a guilty verdict.
You know, yeah, exactly. It didn't matter, you know, what the Zimmer and Brown families were thinking, even though they knew that it looked like it was going to be between first and second degree. It's still, when you hear the words guilty, you know, their emotions they just kind of let them out.
What did you get when you were watching Troy Brake? What kind of reaction did you see or feel?
Well, it was pretty much the reaction he gave when he was convicted in the beating and rape of a prostitute in Grand Rapids, which was really nothing much. And there was also very little from his family.
All right.
So, you know, very little reaction.
Ken Kolker, thank you so much for joining us live and for keeping us all posted on exactly what was happening day to day and minute by minute on Cover It Live over the web. We appreciate it.
Oh, you're welcome, Susie.
And as Suzanne mentioned moments ago on 24-Hour News 8 at 5, we talk live to one of the jurors who deliberated the Brake verdicts. That juror telling us that it was traumatizing to be on the trial and to see such graphic pictures of the victims. He said that they struggled with the case, realizing the gravity of it all, but that the evidence of the shell casings in the house ultimately connected Brake to the crimes.
I think it's very just. It's a horrific crime, and And as juries, we were very convinced of our guilty plea.